Welcome to Pathetic the Podcast. Tonight we are going to review the Major League Trading Deadline as it affected the Mets and the Yankees. We're happy to have you back once again. You will see in the right corner, I think it's going to be under me, the Link.Tree, so that you can go to all our social media. And once again, our email address is patheticthepodcast@gmail.com. Please don't forget, subscribe, whether you're listening on whatever you listen to your podcast on, or if you're watching it on YouTube. We really we can use some more viewership. We would love that because we're going to get into the teeth of it, guys. This baseball stuff is really good while it lasts, but wait till football comes. We're going to be all over this. So, Mikey, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. This was my weekend. I was on ESPN 8, the Ocho, all weekend long. I was watching some pillow fights. I was watching card jitsu. I was watching pizza dough throwing competitions. It was a Mikey Mush kind of weekend. So I'm feeling great. Jeff, how we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm watching the Yankees finally winning a baseball game here, and we'll definitely get into that. I'm almost happy because we have a little bit of a delay with the shows because you guys had bad weather, then I had a power outage.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the trade deadline, obviously, but we got to talk about post-trade deadline and what's been going on there too. But I almost want to put this game on pause to keep this sight of the Yankees winning a game because I feel like it's been ages since they've actually won. So,
well, I'll tell you, Jeff. Before you came on, Mikey and I were talking before the show started, and I said I would not be shocked at all if both the Mets and the Yankees did not make the playoffs.
Yeah, I said that last week.
And taking the Mets side of this, I liked what they did at the deadline. I really do. I think they did a really good job. Getting the kid from St. Louis, or the guy from St. Louis, Helsley, is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy they got from San Francisco. I really like Mullins, the center fielder that they got from Baltimore. And I heard they were in on a few other things that just never happened. But then they come out of the gate and they lose 2 out of 3 to San Francisco. And the thing about the trades, they didn't really give up that much. I mean, they didn't lose any of their top 7, prospects.
Yeah.
So they've still got guys down there raking in the minors. So they didn't really affect it that badly. And they didn't lose Vientos, Beatty, or Mauricio. So I'm very happy about that. One of those might be in a big trade in the offseason. Stearns, he always pulls off some kind of a big deal, and one of them might be in there. For my money, the guy who I would want to see go is Beatty. I don't want to see Mauricio go. I don't want to see Vientos go. I just don't. And Acuna can go if he has to. But it was disheartening to see them lose 2 out of 3 to San Francisco at home, big crowds, huge crowds the whole weekend, and then they lose 2 out of 3. And tonight they're losing 5-0 to Cleveland. And
I saw it was 1-0. They had 5 already.
It's 5-0. Manaea sailing along, and then all of a sudden, boom. So So again, as I've said, Mike, you've heard me say this 5,000 times for the baseball. Just get me to football. Just get me to football.
Yep, that's always your go-to.
I always say that. Now, you guys are very active at the trade deadline, and honestly, I tell you the truth, I didn't mind any of the trades they did. I thought they were all decent trades. But yeah, you guys take it away, Mike. What do you
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I mean, look, they solved 2 of their 3 big needs. They solved, and I think they solved it well. Now, granted, this weekend didn't pan out the way you wanted it to with them, but I think over time, I think those guys are going to be what we want them to be, because you really want guys who just can throw as hard as you can in the bullpen for as long as you can and have as many of those guys as you could possibly have. Look at the Dodgers last year in the World Series. I know everyone has said that so far, but you solve that need in the bullpen. You solve the need when it comes to third base, because I think McMahon has been what you wanted and then some from that.
Yep.
So I'm happy with what they did, and they didn't get rid of Spencer Jones or any of the top prospects. I didn't know a single guy they traded for
Yeah.
that they gave away for. I'm like, okay, whoever that is, I don't care. It's not someone who's going to be, I can't believe you traded away whoever. But even if you think about that, look back at the Edwin Diaz Jared Kelnick deal. Like, where is Jared Kelnick now? Is he bagging groceries
Yeah, exactly.
at ShopRite? I don't know what he's doing, but he's certainly not doing what Edwin Diaz has done over the last couple of years. So you can't really. I'm never going to get upset about prospects that get traded away because you never know what they're going to be. Half the time they're bagging groceries, half the time they're going to be okay, but they're never going to be the guy that you're going to get in return. So with that being said, I'm happy with what they did, but this weekend was very disheartening. Jeff, I'll let you follow up from there.
First of all, they shouldn't call them prospects. They should call them suspects.
Yeah, and I'm not even a prospect hugger, except for Spencer Jones, maybe. That's probably the one guy who I'm not going to say is guaranteed, but I certainly don't want to give up. But to me, everybody else was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
But they really didn't give up much. And like you said, Mike, I didn't recognize any of the guys. So if I don't know their names and I don't know who they are, to me, they're certainly expendable. But I thought Cashman did a good job. I mean, he did everything for the most part what he was supposed to do. He got small ball players instead of getting the big fish, which I think the Yankees needed more than anything. And, I'm not going to take too much stock in that game where all the new guys got rocked. It was more just, you know what it was? It was just bad optics. It didn't look good. But that's not going to happen every game. In fact, it probably will never happen again. Not saying they won't have bad games, but they'll be fine. They'll fit the team. They'll fit what we need. But I am beyond ecstatic about McMahon because we talked about it. We wanted him initially. We said, that's the guy. I think there's some to be said about a decent to good player, which is kind of what he is, going from a bad team to a contender. It raises the energy of the player. Now they want to be there, right? Can you imagine playing in Colorado, even though you're collecting a paycheck and whatever, you're playing a game at the end of the day? It's just got to be a bad atmosphere.
Yeah.
To now go to the Yankees, who aren't playing great, but it's still the Yankees, right?
Mm-hmm.
That had to elevate his just desire to play the game again and kind of reborn the season for him. But I really don't have a lot of complaints or any whatsoever about what Cashman did. Again, he didn't, like the Mets, he didn't give up much, and he got a good return out of it. So I give them an A minus, and I give the Mets an A minus too. I think they both did a really good job in the before the trade deadline.
See, I'll tell you, I think that Cashman and Stearns, as you said, Jeff, did a really good job. Okay. I think the Met problem, when I look at it, they're just not hitting. They're not hitting at all. I mean, their average with runners in scoring position is abysmal. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. It's
been like that
frankly.
all year.
Yeah, all year. And honestly, I don't see any reason why that's going to change. At this point, at first it's an aberration, then it's a habit. Now it's what it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though, I hate to say, like Evan Roberts says on the Evan and Tiki show. What is he at?
IBF or whatever.
An IBF, right?
Yeah,
or OBF, whatever it is.
Independent fan, observer, or whatever. IBO or IFO. IFO.
IFO. I'm going to tell you this from what I see about the Yankees.
As long as it's not IBS, then that's not.
Yeah, no, we don't. I had that.
That wouldn't be good.
I had that a couple of weeks ago, and that was really bad. Mike was there. I'm going to tell you this as watching the Yankees and everything that's going on here. Your problem, and Jeff, you never want to say it. Your problem is Aaron Boone, and it's dead serious. And I'll tell you why. Because even this weekend, first of all, Jazz Chisholm is the dumbest baseball player ever, and then Aaron Boone comes out in response to the A-Rod Jeter comments about what's going on? Where's the accountability? How's this going? Yep. And he comes out and says, well, they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And then behind the scenes, Jazz Chisholm says, I would do the same thing again. That's just, it's almost like I understand that Boone is not the one making the errors. He's not the one, making the stupid base running plays. But if
Yeah.
I don't think they feel that there's any worry that we make this mistake. Yeah, so what? Who cares? What is he going to? He's not, they're not going to fire the manager. Nothing's going to happen. Boone is, to me, at this point, he could be the reason you don't make the playoffs. I'm telling you, I know you don't want to get rid of him, but here's a guy who has accomplished zero as compared to other Yankee managers, and he's safe as hell. And why is he safe as hell? Is it because Cashman and Hal, he's their guy, he's their patsy, he's going to do whatever they say? Because if that's the case, you know, there's bigger problems than we even know about.
Yeah.
But I think he's had a horrible last month, Boone.
He
Really
has.
has.
And here's what I'll tell you about Boone. And I've actually felt this way about him for a while, and I've been saying this for a while. I think he's a really good baseball manager. Okay. But what he doesn't do well is the accountability. And that's
Mhm.
part of managing. So that's definitely a knock on Boone. There's no question about it. But let's be honest, guys. This started with the firing of Joe Girardi. Okay, here's what I mean by that. The Yankees wanted somebody to coddle players
Mhm.
and be their best friend, right? They got rid of Girardi because he was a hard ass and a little prickly with the media, right? Didn't like the media, was a little nasty with them. And Boone is the complete opposite, right? He gets a little testy sometimes, but never to the extent of Girardi.
Right.
And Girardi would call guys out like Gary Sanchez, Torres. Like he would call these guys out, and they wanted to switch the culture, I guess, right? I hate that word, but that's just, it is what it is, right? They wanted to switch the culture, and it hasn't worked,
Right.
right? It's just not working. And what I say when I say I don't want to get rid of Boone, here's why. And this is consistent with me across all sports. I felt this way about Coughlin. That's pretty much it, because every other Giant coach I wanted gone. But I felt this way about Coughlin. You need to answer before you fire somebody. Answer who is going to replace him and do a better job. Because Boone, I know he didn't win a World Series, but he got there last year. You look at his body of work as a Yankee manager, he's done a great job. His numbers are there. There's really no disputing that. His downside is he coddles players. So now you have to find a guy that can do better than Boone record-wise. Good luck. And you got to find a guy that's going to be a hard ass. Good luck. Right? So if we're going to get rid of Boone, if you give me a good replacement, I'm in. But I don't know who that guy is unless you're going to roll the dice on a bench coach or whatever and hopefully get lucky like the Mets did with Mendoza. That's a big dice roll. So I'm not ready to pull the plug on Boone, but Uncle Ted, believe me, I'll admit the faults of Boone, and one of them, and the main one, is the lack of accountability, because that's rearing its ugly head.
Yeah, this is like you leave your kids at home, like your 11 and 12-year-old kids at home for a weekend, and you trust them that they're going to be good enough to not destroy the whole house. And then when they get back and they have destroyed the whole house, then it's like, well, I expected that. It's okay. Don't worry about it. That's not going to teach them anything. You really have to go get into some of these guys. Some of the stuff that's gone on over the last 2 weeks. That play in Miami was I couldn't even fathom that. And there's been 19 of them. I mean, that play in Caballeros makes in right field where the ball flies by him.
Ugh.
I mean, come on, guys. This is not Little League. You can't not make these crazy mistakes and have 4 error games and have all this other stuff going on and there's no one who's going to get in any of their face. Like you said, Jeff, you have to have somebody there who can get in and say, you're sitting on the bench the rest of this game. If I'm Boone and Chisholm does that and you walk him down the stairs, you'll be like, you're sitting down the rest of this game. I'm sorry. You just are. I'm not going to put up with that in a game. And your bat is not doing what it's supposed to be doing anyway. You were supposed to be a guy who could hit home runs and get on base and steal bases and not get picked off on a pop fly to third base. It's just ridiculous. So,
And here's the other thing is that he chews out the first base coach.
Yeah, that was bad.
Why are you doing it? And it's okay for you to chew out the first base coach in the dugout in front of everybody, but you don't do it to the players who are screwing up.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jeff, I'll tell you this. If they fall into the final playoff spot and get close to being this series with Texas is huge for them. Huge. If Texas somehow sweeps them, Yanks are in bigger trouble than even the Mets are putting themselves into right now. And I'll tell you the truth, what I would do, and you can always name an interim. I'd bring up the guy from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Guy's 26-7 down in AAA. I'd bring him up, let him finish the year, see how it goes, and go from there. Because I'll tell you right now, you're not going anywhere with this guy. I just don't think the players. I don't know. I don't think respect's the right word, and I definitely
They don't
know
fear
it's not
him.
fear. Well, they don't fear him for sure,
Right.
but they just know that there's just no repercussions. It's like me with my grandchildren.
Yeah,
Like
it's hard. It's hard for me
know.
to defend. It is because again, I do like Boone because I do think he's a good manager, and the numbers back it up. I have the evidence. I'm not just saying that because I like the guy. It's just I think he's a good manager, and I know he's a good manager.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do things like you mentioned, Uncle Ted, yelling at the first base coach, and then taking Jazz to the side. We don't know what was said.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't anything effective because he then 20 minutes later said what you said earlier,
Yeah,
Mike.
exactly.
Come on, you can't do
Yeah.
that. But again, we're jumping a little far ahead about firing Boone because right now the Yankees are up 3-0. They could sweep this series, and all of a sudden, they're I don't even know how much they're behind Toronto right now, but they can switch the tide right now tonight. That's what's great about
don't worry
baseball.
about Toronto. Worry about Boston right now.
Yeah, well, worry about Texas. Like, win this
Yeah,
game,
well,
man. Like,
definitely right now.
win the series. They have to win this series, and I think they may have to sweep. I'll be honest with you. I think a sweep is a requirement here. But I don't know. Look, the Yankees have been in trouble for a while now. This is not an anomaly. This isn't a tough week, a tough month. 2/3 of the season, it's been consistent mistake-prone baseball.
Yeah.
And guys, we forgot to mention the big one. How about Austin Wells forgetting how many outs there were?
Oh,
Yep.
That may have been the most egregious of them all because the Jazz Chisholm one, as bad as that was, you can say, okay, he had a confusion of depth where he was and just was too far off. The error in the field, I could deal
Right.
with that. I can't deal with forgetting how many outs there were. That
Sure.
is, to me, like a 2-game benching. And Austin Wells hit with his 210 average. We can afford him to sit for a little bit.
Yeah.
But come on, you can't forget how many outs. And then it's one thing to forget and be like, oh, damn, I got to go back. He was just strolling off the field.
Yeah,
Had no
exactly.
idea. Someone yelled at him, right? That was embarrassing. And look, I could deal with the losses. Again, I could deal with the errors. That happens. It's just it's part of the game. But the mental mistakes and the stupid baseball, it's brutal. I mean, it's really unwatchable.
Yeah.
So right now, like I said, this series to get a sweep here and just erase this negativity going on, it's crucial. They got to do it.
I would agree. The one thing you could say about Boone, I think it's been consistent. When things are going well, he can absolutely keep the ship running in the right direction and going like that. But he has a difficult time at times when things are going really bad to figure out a way to, call a meeting or do something to switch things up or just switch the lineup up or just do something to just keep it moving. He's not that person. He is the laws of the averages are going to make their way out and we're going to roll through this, but there's still human beings playing this game. So you have to at some point do something when it comes to these, boneheaded mistakes that are happening.
And again, you know what that does? That says to me, number one, if he's not addressing this stuff and he's not doing it because it's just not in his nature, he shouldn't be managing the New York Yankees. But if he's not doing it because he's being told that it's all going to be okay by Cashman, I mean, it's all going to be okay. Let's just roll. Don't do it. Because the other thing is, too, and I heard a lot of this over the weekend, too. Dominguez is killing it when he's in AAA playing center field. So why doesn't he play center field with the Yankees? Why? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
He obviously he wasn't a butcher in AAA, and but they never play him there. Chaz Chisholm is a shortstop by trade. Okay, so with all the problems with Volpe, I know you don't want to move guys around like crazy, but
Yeah.
Chaz, he can play that. Ahmed Rosario can play short. I mean, but they don't even think. They don't even think about saying, okay, Anthony, you're going to sit down for one day. I want you to take a breath, relax, have a Gatorade, just watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't understand it. I don't.
Although I will say this, Volpe has been the best hitter over the past couple of weeks.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm always bashing Volpe, which I don't want to do. Right? I know you guys think I hate him. I love Volpe. He's a Jersey kid. He's a nice guy. I want to see him do well, and I'm going to give him credit. I mean, he's been
absolutely.
He still scares me in the field, but he's actually been hitting. But I don't know. I don't know about moving. I know what you're saying. I agree with Dominguez that he should be playing center field.
Right.
I like Jazz at second. He seems comfortable there. That's where he wanted to go. You got to stick with Volpe. You just do. I'm not saying he should get some days off when he's in one of these weird funks.
Yeah.
But you probably still have to stick with him at this point because, let's not forget the World Series last year. He did well. He's actually pretty good in the postseason. So I wouldn't really shuffle that deck. But the Yankees, they're hard to figure out because there's when they post the lineup, right? When I'm watching the games, I look up and down. I'm like, there's talent everywhere. Like they have good players on the team.
Hell yeah.
But the Yankees, they have a problem with gelling together. That's the issue. They just don't play well together. It's very individualized, right? It's hard to explain why they can go through this. And as the Yankees now give up 2 runs and it's 3-2. Here we go.
3-3.
It's 3-3.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go. But yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about right here in real time, right? I'm going to use one of your phrases. We can't have anything nice anymore.
No,
right?
This is why we can't have anything nice.
Oh my God!
And even the wins that they've had, I want to shout out my brother who had a quote for that game where they ended up winning against Tampa to sweep the series. He said, "What a colonoscopy of a win," and I felt that in my soul when he texted that. That's what it felt like. I've never had a colonoscopy, but I can imagine that's what it's like, is to just be miserable for 3.5 hours, and then hopefully everything's okay at the end. I guess that's what it is.
And hearing Boone's pregame interview was the colonoscopy prep.
Oh. I've had a colonoscopy. When you wake up from that and you're kind of all out of it, and my wife is sitting, and Peachy's sitting next to me in the recovery room, and she goes, "How did everything turn out?" I said, "Okay, I think they said they found a polyp, and it looked all right, and they found a piece of gum I swallowed in the 3rd grade, so we're good." But yeah, it's funny. I root for Volpe because how could you not like this kid?
Yeah.
You can't. And I heard a guy call into I think it was Sean Morash and Loogie today, where he goes, "Listen, all he needs." Yeah, I know. I turned it off after this. The guy goes, "All he needs is to relax, have a nice chicken parm sandwich or a nice eggplant parm sandwich. He'll be fine." And like they said, well, maybe that's what's going to fix him. But you can't not root for him. He's a good kid. You see that it bothers him when he's doing bad.
I know.
He shows that emotion. He doesn't give you that like Chaz where he just goes, "Yeah, I do the same thing again." Volpe would never say that.
No.
Never.
No. And you can see the disdain on his face when he makes an error. You feel bad for him. Right.
Absolutely.
And like you said, and I said previously, he's a good kid. You could tell. He doesn't say the wrong thing ever. And he's had many opportunities to slip up and say something stupid. He's very good and I'm not going to say savvy because I don't think he does it.
No, I think
like
he is.
on purpose.
He's media savvy.
Yeah, what I mean by that is like he doesn't do it on purpose to like maneuver. He's just a good kid.
Oh yeah, that's
You know what
him.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you want to see him do well. I don't know, but look, again with the Mets too. There's still time here, right? They could both change the
Yes.
entire perception after this week, right? So really, it's just one of these things, and they're in a position now. You just play it by ear, and cross our fingers and hope for the best.
I mean, the next 2 weeks, the Mets' schedule is pretty. You're playing Cleveland, then you're at Milwaukee, who is playing very well.
Very well.
3 against the Braves, who you never want to go against them, and then 3
But we
against
should beat them.
and then 3 against Seattle at home, which is the big dumper coming to Queens is going to be something. It'll be right at home in Flushing there with all those chop shops around there.
A lot of teams are heating up. The Marlins, I didn't realize how good they were doing.
Yeah.
Like I knew that I heard I don't watch Miami ever, but I heard they were doing well. They're like 15 games over 500 over the past whatever it's been, couple of months. Like
they're the first team in Major League history to be 14 games under 500 and then make it back to 500 the same season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They're 55-55 right now.
Yeah,
I mean it's just. It really is crazy. It's just, and I'll tell you, if the Mets have just been bad hitting with runners in scoring position, they'd have 6-7 more wins.
Yeah.
Just being bad.
Yeah.
Instead of being horrific.
Yeah. Non-existent, right? Like it's just they don't do it. They don't hit ever.
It's so bad this weekend. I'm telling you, I watched 4 Canadian Football League games. And I was like and then I was so disgusted at one point. I watched the WWE SummerSlam.
It got that bad, huh?
And that annoyed me too, because what's his face? Who's the guy that came back? CM Punk?
Brock. Oh yeah.
John Cena.
Lesnar?
No, Saturday night. CM Punk comes back, and then all of a sudden Roman Reigns shows up with a Money in the Bank bag, and he takes a something off his leg, like a cast off his leg, and he goes and beats the crap out of CM Punk, and now he's the champion instead of CM Punk. I'm like, come on, man, what's going on here?
I tried to watch it.
I don't even watch that.
Yeah, I tried to watch it. I haven't watched wrestling in years, but with the Hulk Hogan passing, I'm like, let me just watch. I want to see the tribute, which was pretty cool. His son was there. That was good to have that, and they did a good job, as I figured they would. But I just can't get into it anymore. And it's not because I'm too old. Like, I don't mind entertainment. I know what it is. It's like watching a TV show, right? It's fake, but you enjoy it. It's just not the same as it used to be in the Hulk Hogan days and the Ultimate Warrior and Bret Hart. Like, that was wrestling. Now it's like it's almost
Cold
too
even
it's
in
too
the Rock.
corny. There's too many celebrity things going on.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Jelly Roll fan. That
was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I love his music. I listen to it all day. But I can do without Jelly Roll in wrestling. I'll be honest with you. Like that to me, he did.
Hammered.
I respect it, but I don't know. It's too much of like it's like the world today, right? Like the show. Like it's now it's just not the same as it used to be. But
it's crazy. But I'm holding out hope. For me, that the Mets can come back. We know the Yankees and Mets can both come back. You're right, Jeff. You're 100% right. A week from now, we could look at it, and all of a sudden, we're in much better position. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't, and that's why I'm looking forward to getting the NFL season. Although I am going to Disney World with with the family, which should be absolutely a struggle. This is unbelievable. Yankees are now losing 4-3.
It is just error again with Fried trying to pick somebody off at second base. It really is amazing.
That's another one. That's a guy who you need to start showing some guts.
Yeah.
It was very easy when everything, like Mike, you said it, when everything's going in one direction, nice, everything's fine. As soon as okay, Max, we need you to really come up. And Max is just spitting the bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't look the same. He doesn't look like the same guy.
He doesn't. But listen, we're all angry right now. And maybe we need to take an anger management course. I don't know.
We better save some of our
Go
blood
and-
pressure raising for the football season
Go
because
to
where
Disney.
that
It's the
starts.
happiest place on earth. You'll enjoy yourself there.
That's where I'm
You
going.
won't even care about what the baseball team is. You're
No.
just gonna want to go to sleep at the end of the night. You're just
Exactly.
gonna get to that hotel room, get away from all the screaming kids and the candy and all the sugar highs, and just go
Yeah.
lie down.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As crazy as that sounds, it's going to be 100 degrees every day, but I'm looking forward to it because to see the grandkids their first time seeing
Yeah,
that
that's
kind of
cool.
stuff.
Yep.
Like Lexi said to me when she saw Mike, we were watching the fireworks, and at the end of it, Tinkerbell flies from the castle, and she pauses the YouTube
Spoiler alert.
video. Yeah, she pauses the YouTube video and goes to me, "Wait, Pop, you're telling me Tinkerbell's real?" I said, "What did you just see?" She goes, "My mind is blown." And then she plays it. I'm like, this is going to be great. It's going to be
Oh
so
yeah,
great.
it's gonna be.
Yeah.
They're gonna love it. You're gonna be exhausted, but it's a good
Yeah,
exhaustion.
it
And
is.
and
It is.
the worst thing, I used to go in the middle of August as well. The only thing you're dealing with is every single channel is going to have ESPN on. They're all going to have Little League World Series on. So
Yeah.
you could skip that as long as you can. As much as unless you got a kid playing on one of those teams, you just want the USA team to win. That's the only thing I'm rooting for.
Yeah, you root for whoever comes out of the U.S. on that.
Or the Mid Atlantic team. You want the Mid Atlantic or the Northeast team from like this area who's doing well. You want the Toms Rivers, the
Apparently, there's a
whoever.
New Jersey team from Haddonfield that just smoked somebody the other day. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what you
know.
want. So there'll be picks for that later, I'm sure. We'll get to that. I'll
Well,
have some Little League World Series picks for sure. So
that something seems wrong about that. But all right, so we're not gonna really do anything about football tonight. We're gonna come back next week with some football, especially after that first preseason game, which we're not gonna be able to take much out of, but we're really looking forward to it. So we want to get that going. Jeff, anything coming up in the UFC this week that you need to talk about?
Not this week, but the following week we have a big card. So I'll be
Okay,
giving my new pick. Notice I didn't say picks.
good.
That's a
All
singular
right.
pick I'll be giving you next week.
All
I
right.
actually already have it, but I'll save it for next
Yeah,
week.
save it for next week for sure. Mikey, you have been on a roll. You've been picking some some good ones. I'm going to throw out the swimming thing, the water polo thing, because that was kind of, it could be anything. You don't know what's in that water, so
right,
anything could have happened. But you do have picks for this week.
I do, and I have picks from last week that I have to recap. So
Let's recap last week.
So I pulled a Jeff. I got 3 out of 4 correct on the National Lacrosse League. The Utah Archers did not win a single game. I thought they were going to win. They were home. It was their homecoming weekend. All the games were in Salt Lake City, and they lost 9-8 in the first game, where I thought they were going to beat the California Redwoods. But the New York Atlas won and covered. They were 11-8. They covered the 1.5. The Carolina Chaos eked out a 15-14 win in overtime against the Philly Water Dogs, and then Denver beat Utah 15-10. They lost 9-8, one goal difference. Whether it was otherwise, it would have been a 4-0 sweep last week. But still, 3 out of 4 is pretty good, especially in obscure sports here.
Yeah, that is true. And
Listen, every Saturday night when I lose in the UFC, I play 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf to make myself feel better.
Exactly. Exactly. So for this week, we are going to be as mainstream as we possibly can on this podcast.
Nice.
We are going to do a 3-team NFL preseason parlay. Opening weekend of the preseason, I am taking the first 3 games on Thursday night, August 7th. All 3 home teams are underdogs in these games. So I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens plus 4.5 against the Colts. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles plus 3.5 at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5 against the Las Vegas Raiders and Pete Carroll coming back to Seattle. I'm going to take the 3 home underdogs. I think they're 3 better teams anyway, even if they're not going to play any of their starters in any of those games. But I'll still take their backups over, Daniel Jones or whoever's going to throw over for the Colts. I'm going to take the Ravens over that game. anytime. So enjoy preseason. Watch the first 10 minutes of the games. Get yourself your juices flowing for your team. And then, go do something else because the rest of the game is completely meaningless. You just want to see those guys on the field. You want to see the first down marker. You want to see all the stuff, and then go about your day. Kind of like a spring training game. You watch the first 3 innings of the first spring training game, and then you just want the season to start. So exact same thing here.
Jeff, who are the Giants opening up with this weekend?
This shows how much I don't care about the preseason. I don't even know. Let me see. Giants schedule. Who they got game 1? I think they have Jets game 2, right?
Yeah, Jets game 2.
And
We'll definitely
Patriots
talk
game
about.
3
They got the Bills
at
The Bill-
Buffalo.
Oh,
at Buffalo, 1 o'clock.
Well, Jets will be in Green Bay. And again, Mike, I want to ask you this. How do you feel about with the preseason? Do you want your team to win all the games? Or do you
I think you want them to split the games. I don't think you want them to win all of them. I don't think you want them to lose all of them because then your sense of hope or whatever is going to be taken aback. So
Yeah.
Do we want to make preseason picks on these 2 games? I have the lines in front of me. I have the Giants are actually 1.5 point favorites against Buffalo. And the Jets are, of course, 1.5 point underdogs at Green Bay. So,
I think the Giants are going to win. Actually, I do because I think some guys are going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's definitely not playing, obviously.
No.
Yeah, I think the Giants might win that game. Actually, I do.
Mikey, what do you think about the Jets?
I'm going to take the Jets to win. I think Aaron Glenn's going to come out. It's going to be a spirited game. I think they're going to come out firing on all cylinders. And I think you might actually see the starters play a couple series. I don't think they're going to play much, but you might see them play a series or 2 in the beginning just to get their feet wet and get used to this, new offense that they're going to be running. So it wouldn't shock me if they went into Green Bay and really are starting to buy into Aaron Glenn and see him as how he is coaching an actual game.
I think so too, but I think they'll lose. I think they'll lose in Green Bay, but I do think you're going to look at them and you're going to come away not impressed by how they played, but impressed of the change in the way they played as compared to over the past few years. So, but we'll see. This was fun. As we're signing off, the Mets are trying to come back against Cleveland. I know they're probably ticked off. They want to make a liar out of me, which would be great. Please make a liar out of me. Yanks are in a tight win in Texas. Listen, we're going to be back next week. We'll recap this. Don't forget, subscribe, send us an email. We're going to have a fun episode coming up where we pick our top 5 candies, and that's coming up in a few days. So, guys, until I see you again, have a great night. Everyone, thanks for joining us. Good night.